So welcome back. This is Heather from Sister Stand Strong and the Bootstrap Business Blueprint. So today we're going to be talking about how to create simplicity and communicate with power to your audience. Because yesterday we spoke about identifying a particular person, an ideal customer that would be matched with a certain product or service that you offer. Now, what I would say is I'd love you to do that exercise again and again and again with all the different types of products and services you have, so that you actually start creating containers, in a way, containers of audiences, so that you absolutely know the type of person that would buy a particular product or service from you. And believe it or not, there are many different types of people that will buy a product or service from you. So today we're going to have a look at speaking their language. So this is the important thing, right? This is why we did that exercise yesterday, is if you can imagine an 18-year-old male and a 65-year-old female. Now, don't you think that they would have different needs, wants, desires, and hells and heavens? Yeah, I mean, if you look at those two individuals, they're very, very different, aren't they? And the mistake that so many people make is that they just put everybody in the same pot. So they'll put the 65-year-old female in with the 18-year-old male in that pot, and they think that they have the same needs and wants and desires for your particular product or service. Now, that may be true. It may not be true, okay? But you don't know that until you've done that exercise. The next thing is this is about niching down on your customers. Now, people talk about niche or niche, as my beautiful American friends will say. They talk about niching all the time, and some people panic at this thought because they're scared of not getting customers. They fall into a scarcity trap in terms of, oh my God, if I do that, I'm cutting out most of my market, etc. The absolute opposite is true. When you niche down on your customers and you absolutely find out who different types of customers are, you then get more clarity in your marketing, your money goes further, your messaging becomes clearer, and the results speak for themselves. So customers fall into spectrum groups. So there is a group or spectrum of customers that will be attracted to your particular products and services that you're offering. Now, your job, if you want to make money from your business, is to determine who these group of friends are. So if you can imagine that your customer group, so you could have a container full of a certain type of person with a certain type of desires and lifestyle and wants and needs for a particular product or service. You could have another pot with somebody else in another container with somebody else in it. And, you know, what I want you to imagine is that these people, and what we found to be true, is there's like a spectrum, a friendship group, and there is a commonality thread between them. So what I want you to do is actually think about, as the more you do that exercise that you did yesterday, the more you do that, you'll actually come to understand that there is a spectrum, a group of friends, like-minded people. So this is how to communicate with power. So when you describe a problem your customer has, this creates empathy and builds trust. And the more vividly you can describe their problem and their issue, the more they will go, oh my goodness, how did you know that? Were you kind of like a fly on the wall? Like, you know, you're listening to our conversations. That is very, very powerful in marketing. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So here's the number one thing. People move away from pain faster than they move towards pleasure. And if you can vividly describe their pain or frustration that your customers are having, you're really onto a winning formula. And this is a big thing, is because there's a lot of people out there in the marketing space selling all the pleasure stuff. Oh my God, look at this, how great this is, how wonderful this is. And actually, the reverse is true, is when you can actually say to someone, hey, have you got a sort of a pain in your sort of right thumb, and it kind of radiates down into your wrist area, and then when you kind of like move your hand sort of forwards and backwards, like if you're turning a doorknob, it radiates right the way up to your elbow. And that person, if you could vividly describe that situation to someone, they will go, oh my goodness, you've just described it so vividly, so right, okay? And they will want the solution to what you're offering. Now, obviously, some people have got greater pain points than others. Some of you are selling what I call the good news stuff. So you'll be selling like gifts and flowers and nice stuff. But believe it or not, people still have pain points associated with them. So this is what I was saying. Even the happy businesses, gifts, flowers, chocolates, don't be deceived. your customers are still moving away from a perceived problem to find a solution. So even somebody looking to send some flowers to somebody, if you think about that a bit deeper, is what do they want to prevent here? What are the other problems they're experiencing? And for instance, can they, is the person they're sending the gift to allergic to chocolate or something? Yeah, poor people. But do you know what I mean? So it's about looking at the pain points. What are the perceived pain points of your customers? Everybody's moving away from a perceived problem to find a solution. That is why businesses exist. You exist to serve your customers, to provide a solution to them. So dig a little bit deeper on this and try and find out what your customers are moving away from. So now it's time to take action. Here's what to do next. So write down what pain and frustration your ideal customer, just one particular product or service you offer, okay, is experiencing. And it could be that you take that person that we kind of spoke about, the identifying your customer yesterday, take that person. What are their pains and frustrations? Why is that? When you get that answer, ask yourself another why. So why? Until you get the real reason. So dig deeper on it. The why questions are really important here for digging deeper and getting to the truth of the matter. And number 3 is, how have they tried to fix this problem up until now, and why hasn't it worked, or why are they dissatisfied with the results? So for instance, it could be that somebody's looking to, if you are in the happy business and say for instance you're selling flowers, you're a florist, it could be the fact that your customer has sent gifts before and this time they want to change. It could be that if you are in the gift industry, they have sent flowers before and they want to change. It could be that the person is allergic to something, the customer receiving the information or the product. So I want you to sort of really dig deep and find out the reasons behind why they haven't fixed the problem up until now. So the top tip here is, if you find this difficult, close your eyes, imagine your ideal customer of yours standing right in front of you. Now, this is a little play exercise again that you can do using your imagination. Again, your imagination is a very, very powerful tool, so why not use it? In your imagination, I want you to imagine that ideal customer standing in front of you and then have an imaginary conversation with them. I know it sounds crazy. You might want to do this on your own, by the way. And interview them about why they want your product or service. Now, again, the reason why I suggest this is because, the hashtag, don't mock it, try it. The reason I suggest this is that in our persona workshops, this is exactly what we do. We actually get our clients to go so deep into their subconscious mind that they're able to visualize their ideal customers sitting with them. They're actually having sort of cups of tea and coffee or drinks of water with them in cafes or in their front room, and they can have a full-blown conversation with their ideal customer, basically interviewing them about their products and services. And it never fails to kind of like bring up loads and loads of juicy information and facts about why the person has that problem, what they're trying to solve, what's the emotions behind this. And I'll be speaking more about emotions later in this program. So that's your task, that's your action points for today. Write down the pain and frustrations of your ideal customers. Why is that? Go deeper. What have they tried to fix the problems up until now? This is going to be a real gem, a real jewel in your marketing communications as you move forwards.